We are welcome to our day 3 of our research orientation. I sincerely hope that the last 2 days has been enlightening for us. I hope we've been able to pick one or two things. I hope I've been able to shift our mind in one or two ways about research. So this is going to be our final day on this research orientation. And if there's going to be any further thing, I guess I'm going to be communicating with you about how it's going to be. But the recording of the last 2 days, including tonight, is going to be available. I'm going to send it to our mail, and we're going to be wrapping up on a very, very important subject, which is your project management as it refer as it pertains to your relationship with your supervisor, as it pertains to time management. Probably I'm going to touch on some aspect of research methodology, probably, but my main to manage your project. So that's going to be my aim for today. So I'm going to be sharing my screen very soon, like right away. Going to be treating today is your relationship with your supervisor. Your supervisor is a very, very important person as far as your research is concerned. The supervisor decides a whole lot of things as far as the research is concerned. However, you are able to navigate your relationship with him to determine a lot. So that's why anytime I'm covering the subject of research orientation, I like to touch on um I like to touch on supervisors because their role is very, very important. So learning objective one is to understand the role and expectation of a research supervisor to build healthy and respectful and productive relationship with them. To build healthy and respectful. I'm going to try and bring up my slide. It's just that um so that we can follow me visually. Okay. So undo corrections and feedback personally. That's our number 3 learning objective. And then to avoid common supervisor-student conflict. Number 5, to position you for smoother research approval, better outcomes, and faster progress. Um, so your relationship with your supervisor is key, and I don't like people to take for levity. It determines a whole lot as far as your research progress is concerned. Um, okay, I think I can bring up my slide now. These are our learning objective. Understand the role and the position of a research supervisor, build a healthy and respectful relationship with them, and productive relationship with them, handle correction and feedback professionally, avoid common supervisor-student conflict, to position yourself for smoother research approval and better outcomes and faster progress. So, understanding your supervisor. Number one, your supervisor is not your enemy. They are not how to frustrate you. Their job is to guide you to correct your work, to ensure academic standards. Their job is to ensure academic standards, to help you avoid errors in your work. Their job to help you avoid errors in your work, and then to approve your project for final submission. And if you are favored to have a very, very good supervisor, it's an advantage. When I'm dealing with people as far as their research is concerned, I have this notion that how well somebody passes down to your relationship with your supervisor, the ability to get feedback. Even if those feedbacks are painful, even those feedbacks it pinch you in your flesh, it's better than no feedback because feedback is what ensures that we are on the right track, especially with them. One thing about research is there's no one size fits all as far as research is concerned. There's no one size fit as far as research is concerned. So every supervisor have their preference, they have the way they prefer the work of their supervisors to look like and all that. So it's very, very important to have a very, very good relationship with them so that we can know their mind. We can know their mind pattern. So we can know their mind pattern and to be able to flow with their expectations. So you can be able to flow with their expectations, and at the end of the day, you will benefit from it. So that is what today is all about. So building a positive relationship with your supervisor, number one, you have to approach them with respect. You have to drop your assumption. There are different kinds of supervisors. Some of them are strict, some of them are fatherly, motherly, some of them are sadistic. Sure, some of them are sadistic, some of them are thorough, some of them are skimpy. So you have to know the kind of supervisor you are dealing with. But all of them, they always every one of them, they have a side of them that you can appeal to that will help you to navigate your relationship with them and get the most of the relationship with them. So you have to drop your assumptions. Assumptions in terms of what students, past students have said about them. They might have said some negative comments about them or create some myths about them and around them. So you have to drop your assumptions. So, and your own part, you need to try and create a good first impression. And what are the kind of first impression? Okay, they tell you that okay, go and submit your chapter one this is time. Try as much as possible to keep up with the whatever timeline they give you. Some supervisors are so structured, they have a particular day and time of the week they meet with their supervisees. So it's important that you keep up with the timing. It's very, very important. So they are very, very strict. They are very, very strict about the day and the time they meet with their supervisors. So you need to know that and keep to it. So you need to be very, very teachable. In my early days of writing, um, people have this assumption that when your supervisor corrects your work, it means that you are doing badly. No, it simply means feedback. Some people want their work to be so perfect, no correction. They don't want any criticism whatsoever. Criticism, they are one of part of their job is to criticize you, and you have a responsibility not to take it personal. So it is your work they are criticizing, not necessarily you. Some of them might be bad manner, so to speak, in such a way that they can talk to you anyhow. In fact, I've seen supervisors that will comment abusive comment on the paper. Well, that's up to the person. You don't have to take it personal. Just focus on the facts. What are they trying to correct you about outside of their style of correction, their mode of correction, their tone of correction, and all that. And I always tell people when you are dealing with your supervisor, always go with the recording device. Record the conversation. Because when you are recording the conversation, it helps accuracy. Whether you are writing your work yourself or you are giving it out to somebody to write for you, it's very, very important that you record your conversation for master student abroad, you can always screen record the session. It helps. Whatever you are working on the work, you can go over it again line by line to be able to capture everything, every area and every angle you are trying to portray to you. So, like I said, supervisors are different. If you give a work to five different supervisors, they are going to have five different comments. They are going to approach your work from five different angles. So, but it's very, very important that you understand the person, because the person that is your own supervisor, you cannot say because this person supervisor is not stressing them. So you want to tailor your work after somebody else's supervisor's mode and pattern. To not work that way, you have to understand your own because it's the one that will determine your final score. It's the one that will determine your grading. It's the one that will determine, it's like more like the alpha and omega of your work. So you have to respect that he holds that power to of final outcome over your work. So you have to understand him. You have to understand his angle. Whatever he's saying is the correct version. It doesn't matter whether you watch a YouTube video and they are saying otherwise. Whatever that man or woman is saying is the correct version of whatever they will expect you to do. So you have to understand that. You have to understand that, and you have to understand that. You have to be teachable. You cannot be rigid. You cannot be saying no, 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 no. This is how it should be. You cannot be saying no, no, no. I had it in one guy's webinar like that. Like what I've tried to do in this research orientation is to give us like an overview of what research is all about. Yes, to give us like a general overview. So there will be specific things that is expected of you. That specific thing is down to your supervisor. You cannot listen to maybe one random guy on YouTube or whatever, and you want to be superimposing it on your supervisor. Like for instance, um yesterday I mentioned the component of literature review. The supervisor can say they want their own to be in a particular manner. So you drop whatever you think you know and adopt their own because they are the judge. They are the judge of your work. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So it doesn't mean that somebody else is wrong. It just means that this is how they want it. You get, because research is broad, research is wide, you know. Currently I'm dealing with a situation currently that is strange to me. I've never seen it before in all my years of writing. But the supervisor just insisted on a particular pattern. It's still strange to me. I've not had it before. I've not encountered it before. But we have to confirm. That's what the person wants. We have to confirm. We cannot be dragging anything with them. If they say this is what they want, no matter how absurd it is, you just have to find a way around it. You know, when I started writing, there's a particular way I know chapter two to look like. Then I had an internship opportunity with somebody that was 2 years ago, and I had an internship with she's a doctor in a reputable university in Nigeria. So I did some time with her, and then I learned the way she does her things. I learned completely different way that I've known on my own, completely different. This is how she wants her things to be done, and I learned it, I understood it, and I added it to what I know before. So depending on the background of the lecture. In fact, supervisors in the same department, they may not agree on certain things. They may not agree on certain research philosophies, research methods, research angles, research perspective. They may not agree, even in the same department. So you just have to tailor your work to what your supervisor wants. If you want to have a good grade, or if you want to have, if you want, if it's ever going to let you go, it's very, very important. You cannot insist on your way. You get. So um that is that about that. Okay. So handling corrections. Many people are not so good at handling corrections. They are not so good at handling corrections. They see it as a personal attack. they see it as um, supervisor is being sadistic. Some of them might be, but even if they are, how you take it matters to your own mental health. It matters to how you respond. Again. So you have to receive correction. You will receive corrections sometimes a lot. That's normal. But this particular work I was referencing to has been corrected 4 times currently, and we've not had a headway because what the man is asking for is crazy. I've never heard of it before. It's racking my brain. It's stretching my imagination like how it's so crazy. So, but it's part of the work. It is their job to correct you, and sometimes it is their job to stress you. You just have to. So that is what supervisors do. Their job is to make you better. Their job is to stretch you. Their job is to make you work. You get, some supervisors they have time, they will read your work word for word. They will question all your assumptions. They will question it. Some of them you won't have, they will check your references one after the other. They will tell you this reference is not true. So that is their job. It is their job to correct you. It's their job to make you better. It's their job to stretch you. So if you respond to it, they are going to reward you for it. If you don't respond, they will punish you for it in your final grading. So um so correction means you are making progress. It also means they are reading your work, they are paying attention to what you are doing. It also means they want your work to be solid. So that's what correction means. They want your work to be solid. It means you are making progress. You get. So of course I won't tell you that correction is palatable. A lot of times it's not. A lot of times you feel you are done and they just come and tell you do this part again, do this part again. It's kind of stressful. So um group versus individual interaction. Some supervisors prefer to interact with their supervisees in groups. Some they allow for individual interaction whereby you can ask questions, you can explain certain. In fact, that is their job. Their job is to put you through what you don't understand. That's literally their job because they also know that this thing most likely you've not done it before, and you are going to hit a lot of brick walls. And those brick walls, it is their job to remove those brick walls for you. So you have to understand that that is their assignment. Some of them will do it well, some of them will not. But if you are fortunate to meet one that's doing his job well, good. Hold them tight and approach them with honor and respect. So some supervisors prefer group supervision where everyone comes together, submits together, or receive corrections together. So there are supervisors like that they will give corporate feedback. They are not giving individualized feedback. They will give corporate feedback. So as I was saying, others prefer individual supervision. Others prefer individual supervision, whereby where they want students to come one by one. So where they want students to come one by one, they give you specialized over correction and review of your work. So um the thing is find out your supervisor's preference and preferred staff. Don't wait for your friends who may slow you down. If they prefer one-on-one, go alone and go alone. So if your supervisor prefer one-on-one interaction, don't wait. Don't do don't do this my friend with your work. Just go alone. If that's the style your supervisor prefer is one-on-one interaction, go alone. So how to build personal rapport a smart way. Because this is Africa. Africans, we don't joke with respect. The easiest way to get in the good books of anyone in Africa is to be respectful. So greet them respectfully. Um, these days, the subject of respect it cannot be overemphasized because some people don't know that respect is important. Some people don't know that Africa is always going to be Africa. Respect is one of the biggest culture that we have here. So the next thing is ask questions with humility. Ask questions with humility. Submit your work early. Submit your work early. Offer small, genuine help when appropriate. Yes, you know, it works a lot with African supervisors. Um, when I was preparing this thing, I prepared it with the African context in mind. If it is overseas, this one, of course, respect globally is universally acceptable. This fourth one, which is offer help, you might not there might not be any help available to offer if it's abroad. But if it's this African context, find a way to be helpful. You know, there's a way it's sow a seed of some certain kind of seed in their hearts that they kind of it can tend to put you in their good books. So always keep to your appointments. If he has given an appointment, keep to it. But in terms of this one-on-one thing, we should also be careful in terms of the kind of person you're dealing with. If person has a bad history with for instance, women might be kind of cautious in that regard. But if the person doesn't have that problem, no wahala. But if they're having that problem, you might want to play safe and smart. Okay, the next line, understanding your supervisor's decisions. Okay, supervisors have the power to approve your topic. They have the power to approve your chapters. They have the power to approve your questionnaire. They have the power to approve your data analysis, approve your final submission, approve your entire research outcome. So this is the power your supervisor definitely hold, and you shouldn't joke with that. You can use that power against you. So that's why it's good to uh, play smart when you're dealing with them. So, handling difficult supervisors, study their pattern, find a way to reduce their stress, however that applies, find a way to reduce their stress, stay calm under pressure, never retaliate or show attitude. Sometimes when you feel pressured by a supervisor, you might want to show attitude. You might want to show your displeasure that you don't like this thing that this person is doing. So don't do that. So don't do that. It's not acceptable. Mm. Okay. All right. Okay. What your supervisor expect from you? Number one, read, research, think, write properly, follow instruction, correct errors, keep appointment, present thing, drafts, understand basic research principles, show steady improvement. These are what they expect from you. Practical do's and don'ts. Keep your file organized. Bring a notebook during supervision. A notebook, like when you write, it shows that you are serious. Communicate seriousness. Either you write or you record. Just something to show that you are paying attention. Bring a notebook. Okay. Label your chapters correctly. Print clean copies. African context in abroad. You send your you send your draft by email. So be consistent, be available, dress decently, show gratitude. You must always communicate gratitude for whatever input they are giving to your work, whatever way they are helping you to be better, show gratitude. So okay, practical do's and don't disappear for weeks. Don't argue unnecessarily. Don't submit poorly formatted chapters. Don't act entitled, even though it's their job to supervise you. Don't be entitled. Entitlement is repulsive. Don't assume you know more than your supervisor. Try not to gossip about them because you might want to do it. Try not to do it. Okay. Um, this has brought us to the end of this particular module, and then we go to the last one. So these are our key takeaways. Your supervisor is a major factor in your research success. Respect them, be teachable, be organized. Uh, Corrections are not personal attacks. They are part of academic growth. Never rely on rumors. Build your own experience. Good rapport can speed up your approval dramatically. Emotional intelligence is survival skill in your final year. So we're going to move into the last one. This thing I'm dealing with is particularly applies to final year students. So I'm going to share my last slide. Then we are good to go. Like I said, my today's session is targeted mainly to finalists, just to help you get the most of your final year experience. So this module is covering time management, time and self management during final year, which is very, very important. It's very, very important to know how to manage your time, to manage yourself. Final year is time is a part of the academic period of someone that is fully packed with a lot of activities, and knowing how to manage your time and yourself is very, very critical. So this is a critical skill that is necessary for every finalist. So by the end of this module, you should be able to understand why final year is mentally and academically demanding. Build a realistic strategy for balancing lectures, project work, and life. Decide whether to write your projects yourself or outsource strategically. Develop personal systems that reduce overwhelm and increase productivity. Use intelligent tools like Google, journals, articles. These days, of course, artificial intelligence is also there to efficiently for your research, maintain emotional balance during the stress of supervision and deadlines. Why final year is intense? Final year is the heaviest academic year for most students because you still have lectures, you have assignments, you still have tests, you still have exams, you still have departmental seminars, you still have your project, the most demanding of all, and you must manage all simultaneously. Final year is it's packed with a lot of things. You are going to do your project, you are going to do your project, you are going to still write exam and test, you still have to go for lectures, you still have to read, you have extracurricular activities, you have in second semester, you have final year week, all sorts of activities. Some people their GP is low, they are trying to boost it. So, I was interacting with somebody, the person was saying in final year that the course person he was still going to be taking in final year. I think it's about 16 courses final year, for God's sake. You still have to combine this with your project. It's emotionally draining, it's mentally draining, it's a lot for a lot of students. So there has to be the mental picture before the chaos begins. So you are listening to this before your semester has fully begun. That's an advantage. So you have to have a mental picture. It's good to have a mental picture because it is your mental picture that will determine the strategy you will devise to tackle whatever challenge you are going to be encountering during the course of your 2 semesters. So before the academic pressure hits full force, you must understand what is coming. Visualize your schedule ahead. Prepare emotionally and mentally. Decide your strategy early. Identify potential obstacles. Strengthen your support system. So the question you should ask yourself in your final year is, should you write your project yourself or outsource? It's a very, very vital question. Why is it important? You need to, depending on your own circumstances, depending on your context, that will determine what your answer should be. So there is no universal answer. You must answer based on your reality. Reasons to write it yourself. It includes you want full control. You want to learn research deeply. You want the pride of authorship. You need it for future academic goals. You have the time and mental bandwidth. So these are good reasons to write it yourself. You'll be fully responsible. You'll be in full control of your outcome. Can mitigate the risk of somebody disappointing you, mitigate the risk of somebody writing nonsense for you. You want to be in full control, which is good. You want to learn research. All these things I've been doing the past 2 days. It is when you start doing it yourself, that is when more understanding will come. There's some understanding that only come by doing. Understand? There's some certain understanding that only come by taking action. You want to learn it deeply. You want the pride of authorship. You want to be able to want that bragging right. I did my work myself. Like when I was an undergraduate, I did my own work myself. So I had that bragging right. I did it myself. You know, you need for future academic goals. Maybe you want to do your master's, want to do your PhD, just want to build that foundation of research. So you want to do it yourself. So whatever your other reasons might be. And then you have the time and the mental bandwidth. You have the time, the sense that you have a system in place that can help you accommodate these extra tasks on your plate and stuff like that. And probably your CGPA is very strong and you have the capacity to still add your project to your tasks. And it's good anyways. It's good to do your work yourself. It has a lot of advantages. So reasons the reason some student might decide to outsource busy timetable. For instance, somebody is having 10 courses in first semester, maybe another 10 in second semester, and the person is currently um on the fringes of 2-2 and they want to finish with a 2-1. So maybe they feel like if I want to do my project myself and still finish with a 2-1, it's not feasible. So let me outsource my project so that I can focus on reading. Some people, it's a good reason to outsource. So I've seen people that knows what they are doing, they are intelligent, they are brilliant, they have the capacity to do their work themselves. But the only reason they outsource it is because they want to free their time. They want to free their plate. So they give it to somebody they find worthy, find trustworthy. They just give it to the person and they be like, okay, let me focus on something else. Why this person helped me to handle my work? So it's what most of our Nigerians studying abroad do. Majority of them are intelligent enough to do their work themselves, but considering their other activities, they have to read, they have to still work. I know that they still have to fend for themselves. By the time they consider the time value they are going to put into their work themselves, they just be like, let me outsource it and monitor it closely. So busy timetable, many carryovers, many carryover courses to fix. some people still have some carryover courses to take. So um, poor research understanding, want to focus on text and exam for GP boost, slow or difficult supervisors, medical emotional stress. Some people, the reason they outsource is because it's for medical reasons. Yeah, maybe some people are bedridden or something that's taking their time, and in order for them to catch up, they outsource extracurricular activities. Some people might still be doing business. Some students are doing business while they are still studying. Some students are the one fending for themselves. Some students are maybe the president is into school politics or is into whatever. So because of time, some people might decide to outsource. So if you decide to write it yourself, so you listen. If you decide to write it yourself, you must have three things. Number one, a personal laptop. Is that have a personal laptop, you have a regular access to one. Very, very important. A circle of intelligent people, a working pattern structure. I always say it's not visible for you to write your work yourself. You don't have a laptop. It's not easy to go and be borrowing laptop every now and then. So it's always good. It's always good. It's always good when you have your personal laptop. It's always good when you have your personal laptop. And then number two is you have access to a circle of intelligent people. The reason this is important is because when you are stuck, you can easily reach out to somebody to help you out, to enlighten you. That's why that is important. Then a working personal structure. That means you are disciplined enough to know when to dedicate your time to draft some chapters of your work, and still have that structure to do other things that you have to do. So if you decide to outsource, you have to do it smartly. So if you decide to outsource, you have to do it. You have to be very, very smart about it. Choose someone with experience. That person might be your supervisor. Ask for previous samples. Follow up regularly. Don't abandon. Okay. If you decide to outsource, do this smartly by choosing someone with experience. Ask for previous samples. Follow up regularly. Don't abandon the work fully. Read every chapter they saying. Ask questions until you understand it. Never rely on them 100%. Prepare for supervision, for supervisors' questions. The reason I say never rely on them, the reason I say never rely on them 100% is because these guys are busy, so they might make some negligible errors. So by reading your work yourself, you eliminate whatever error that might have happened during the course of your work. So you have to sit up and read up your work yourself and ask questions. If there's any part of it that doesn't make sense to you, ask them. If there's any part of your work that it helps them to sit up. They don't want to make mistakes and all that. They handle your work with extra care and attention and all that. So managing your time like a professional. Time management is very, very key, both to success at undergraduate and after school. Managing your time is very, very key. So this is just like a sketch of this is just like an overview of how you can manage your time. This is just, for example, you can tailor it to your own personal context. So Mondays, lectures plus light reading as warm up for the week. Tuesday, project writing or corrections. Clear your mind early. Wednesday, assignment or research, academic balance. Thursday, project 25 to 50% of your day. That's deep work. You can assign maybe 2 to 3 hours in that day to just focus on your support. It determines on your environment and your settings. So for instance, if you have a roommate and the person is noisy or lousy, that might be you might not be in full control of your time and your space and all that. Friday, meeting with supervisor or data collection, or whenever time your supervisor has scheduled for you to meet up, So this one, it builds momentum, it keeps the momentum going. Saturday, rest and review. Sunday, planning and reading ahead. This is just like the bottom line is have a structure that works for you. Have a structure that you can stick to, that you can be loyal to, and so to speak. So I hope I've been able to give like a mental picture of how to handle yourself as a finalist in terms of your time and your energy, your emotions, your attention, and all that. So um, thank you for listening, and I don't know if there's any question so far. Thank you for listening. I don't know if there's any question so far for your time, and thank you for listening.